I'm back. Thanks for sticking around. Appreciate it. Now, if you recall from my leftover inventory fridge clean out video, I had some ham slices, and I had this is a Black Forest ham from Aldi. I previously had it in the freezer, then took it out, and so I've been working my way through it. It isn't that it was a lot, it was 8 ounces, but it's very good. And now I have 1 piece of cheese left. In the video I had 2 pieces of cheese left. So in between all that, I think it was on that Monday for my lunch I had a hot ham and cheese sandwich. Well, actually, yeah, it was on an English muffin. So I actually have 1 English muffin left as well. So what I'm going to make for my supper, I'm going to make a hot ham and cheese sandwich, and I'm going to make some beer batter onion rings. Now, here's my pan for the ham. I've got it turned down pretty low. So I'm going to use the last of the ham, and I'm just going to fold it in half because I have a small pan. I'm not sure how many are in here. Oh, there's 3. Awesome. That works out great. Alright. So there's my ham on a low heat. This can get thrown away now because I'm through that. Okay, now then, I'm going to keep this turned down low, set my cheese aside. I have one of the hamburger buns that I had in the freezer, so I've had that wrapped in paper towel and I'm letting that thaw out. I might toast it, I don't know, we'll see. I might slip it under the broiler. So actually, I think I will toast it, and I'm going to do it right now. It doesn't necessarily need to be hot when it's toasted, but now be sure and remind me that it's in here because I don't want to forget about it. Okay? Now right here, I've got a pan of fat, grease. I save some of my grease in a small coffee can in the cabinet. So that's what that is. It looks dark, but it has been used before, so that's okay. Okay? Now, what I have here, hang on. I've got an onion that I sliced up, and I had 2 onions in the bin down in the basement. They look rather sad, and so I am going to use the one today, and tomorrow I'll probably take the other one and, you know, clean it up and do something with it because I don't want to waste it. Onions aren't any cheaper. So this is the sliced onion. Now you can see here where there's a gap. That was that was not a very good. It wasn't very pretty. Here's another one here. But that's alright. I cleaned it up. I washed them, and then I put the paper towel in the bottom of the container so they would be, I don't want them to be too wet, right? Okay. Now what I have in this bowl is cornstarch. If you want to know how to make beer batter onion rings or beer batter vegetables such as cauliflower, I do have a playlist. It's called Pub Food, and if you go there I will show you how to make restaurant quality beer batter onion rings, and you will love them. The reason they're restaurant quality is because I learned to make them when I worked as a fry cook in a restaurant. It was actually a supper club type thing, and I learned to make them, and I I've made them that way ever since. Now, so I've got my onions, I've got my cornstarch. I have a container, a little bowl here of beer batter. In order to make the beer batter, and the reason I have the beer is because when my son and daughter-in-law were visiting, my son happened to leave some beer in the little fridge downstairs, and so I use it to make beer bread and things like this. I'm not really a beer person. So all this is 1 can of beer. It could be cold or room temperature, it doesn't matter. 1 cup of flour and enough flour to make the batter like a thin, thick. This is not, the batter is pretty thin. So I put a cup of flour and 2 heaping tablespoons of flour. You have to be the judge of it. It just looks like that. Okay? Alright. Now, let me tend to my ham here real quick. Turn it over. Oh, my bun in the broiler. That sounds funny. My bun in the broiler is not quite toasted yet, but that's okay. We're going to keep an eye on it. Alright. And these are not done yet either. Now I'm going to cook all of this onion because, I guess I better turn the heat on, that would help. Because I'm not going to eat all this, but what is left, I can either freeze them, store them in a container, and put them in the air fryer at some point, or just put them in a container and eat them another day, and I'll just heat them up in the air fryer. Or you can warm them up in the oven if you don't have an air fryer. Okay, now first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take the onion slices, the rings, and I'm going to put them in the cornstarch. Okay. Turn that down a bit. Oops. Have to check my bun in the broiler. Pretty awesome. Look at that. Want to see it? There, toasted. Okay. Now then, I'm coating the onion rings with the cornstarch, and what the cornstarch does, it helps to crisp them, and because it absorbs the moisture that is in the natural water and moisture that is in the onion rings. So that's what we're going to do. Now then, I'm going to drop these in the batter a little bit at a time. And don't be concerned, the batter will look thin. The batter doesn't need to be thick. Because your cornstarch is going to help the batter stick, and it's going to work out just fine. Now then, I'm not going to use, let me get the camera down here for you. I'm not going to use all of that batter for that single onion. But that's okay, because this batter can be used within a few days for something else, or it can be frozen and thawed out and used for something else. So it can be used again. Now you don't need to put baking powder or anything like that in there. That's fine. It'll be fine like it is. and you just want to move them a little bit so that they can brown evenly and float. And we're going to turn these over. The video on how to make restaurant-style beer batter onion rings that's all that video is. It is simply a tutorial on how to make onion rings. I'm going to flip over the ham again. Now I'm going to turn the heat off underneath the ham slices. Now, when I get ready to turn these over, I want you to notice how the onion rings are coated with batter. I have a towel here on my cutting board, and I'm going to lay them there so they can drain. And I'm also going to salt them. I just salt them with regular table salt. But if you like, there's nothing to prevent you from salting them with coarse sea salt or pink salt or whatever your salt preference is. Okay. Turn this one over. You don't need baking powder. They get puffy on their own. Now, you can easily use the same method to do mushrooms, cauliflower, broccoli, okra, zucchini, and even fried green tomatoes if you feel like you want to do that. Squash. There's all kinds of things that you can use the beer batter for. Okay? These are so good, and you just fry them. Just fry them until they're golden. And they'll float. They'll float to the surface. Okay? Bring you over here. Now I'm going to put these other ones in here. Now, after frying the onions in this grease, can I reuse the grease for something else? Probably. I probably would. I use the grease until it is really extremely black, or not, or that not black, but that it burns. It tends to burn the food before it cooks the food. Does that make sense? These are some of the smaller ones here. I'm going to sprinkle some salt on them while they're hot. More in there. Yeah, okay, I think we'll put it there. If you can reuse the cornstarch. If it's lumpy, just drain it, but keep it in the refrigerator. Don't put it back in your cornstarch container. because that would not be great. All right, now then, I'm going to put my ham here. Take the cheese and I'm going to put the cheese on top. And just let it melt down from the residual heat. I've heard some people call this cheese plastic cheese. Do you know why they call it that? I just recently heard that. I was unaware that people call it that. I didn't have any idea. So, and I'm going to put my lid on it from my bun, meaning my lid. Okay. Turn it on low. Let that cheese melt down. Now I'm going to turn my onion rings over. Are any of you, since I've been posting these, since I did the fridge clean out, are you getting inspired or looking at your leftovers in a new way, maybe? Maybe you have more than you thought you did. Could that be the case? These onion rings look so good, I want to eat them right this minute. All right, I'll take some out. We're gonna put them on the paper towel. When you go out to eat at a restaurant and you order a basket of onion rings, aren't they always so good? I mean, especially if they're fresh cooked, beer batter dipped. That's like the best. That is like the best. Now then, put the rest of these in there. If you have a deep fat fryer, that would be great. Then I have to get in there with my patties and get in there and get the rest of these out. There's just a couple. See, I have some of that left and we'll set that aside. Bring my plate over here. Now I had some apple slices left over from my lunch, so I'm going to probably eat some of those after I eat my meal. My refrigerator is starting to look bare. I'm okay with that. All that means is, to me, it just means mission accomplished. That I am getting there. And I am not wasting food. Because remember what I said about if you're going to waste food, you should just skip the step of buying the food and letting the food go bad and then throwing it away. Just walk out to your trash can and just put your money in the trash. Because that's basically what we're doing. All the hours you spent working for it, the time you spent gathering it, all of that is just wasteful. So we don't want to waste. No, we do not. We do not want to. Okay. So these are going to come out. This is are going to go off. Got the heat turned off. So, do you think you would try this? Put it in the comments if you think you might try this. And you know what? It doesn't matter if the beer is old and stale either. It can be old and stale. These cans of beer, the can of beer that I use has been in the refrigerator for a year. So I don't know that much about beer, but I don't know. So there it is. Now I've got my hot ham and cheese. Gonna put it right there. There's my hot ham and cheese. Okay. And I've got my onion rings. Put some salt on those. I'll probably get out some ketchup because I like ketchup with onion rings. They're delicious. They are delicious. Here we go. And one more thing. Hang on. These are so very hot. Some of you remember I did a video on how do you make refrigerator pickles out of watermelon rind. Well, I've been working on a jar of those pickles. These are the dill. Go back and take a look at that, if you would. Let me get a clean fork. And I'm going to have just a few of these dill, watermelon rind dill pickles on the side. I'm going to use the little dish because I don't want to get the dill juice all over my toasted bun. So there we go, lemon rind refrigerator dill pickles, hot ham and cheese sandwich, and beer batter dipped onion rings. That is my meal for this evening. Made from my refrigerator clean out. What do you think? I think these are awesome. Oh, and you can also fry shrimp this way as well. Shrimp, scallops, all kinds of seafood. Just make sure that they're patted dry and you dip them in the cornstarch because you don't want, because otherwise the moisture will cause your batter to run off. There's a piece of onion ring right here. Well, that's pretty tasty. Delicious. All right, I'm gonna go eat my supper. Okay, I love you guys. You know I do. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope this helps you look at your leftovers, at your refrigerator clean out in a whole new way, and inspires you to use them to make meals. Okay, all right. I love you guys, you know I do, and as always, you know that little is much when God is in it. Okay, I love you, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.